The Equalities Minister Kemi Badenoch has launched a furious broadside at the police, NHS and universities over gender ideology. Badenoch accused the public sector of failing to act impartially on the issue of trans rights, claiming cowardice of those in positions of influence was worse than the ravings of the militants. Her comments came in the wake of the CAS report, which found that children experiencing gender dysphoria had been let down by remarkably weak evidence on medical interventions like puberty blockers. Badenoch claims that nothing will change until industry leaders recapture impartiality and thoroughly investigate how senior leaders allowed organisations like Stonewall to direct policy. Meanwhile, NHS bosses in Stoke have unfurled a banner celebrating 21 genders and sexualities. Patients have slammed the stunt, with one telling the Sun, people are waiting months and even years for treatment, but the NHS is more interested in woke pandering than taking care of patients. The Trust backed the banner, saying it showed support for the LGBTQ plus communities. That's great, isn't it? I mean, you know, Kemi Badenoch's right. I mean, what the CAS report was, the CAS review, was a reaction to the fact that a certain kind of wokery, a certain kind of allegedly liberal outlook had led to generations of kids being sent to the Tavistock clinic to be mutilated. Frankenstein's castle. You know, we've mutilated generations of kids on the back of wokery. That's what she's talking about. She's talking about the police in Rochdale who wouldn't crack down on those grooming gangs because they were terrified of being branded racist. So she's absolutely right. The authorities, the police, NHS, they've got to stand up and be counted and stop pandering to wokery and the fear of being also branded racist.
It's exactly that. And if you look at Stonewall, who, you know, were a very credible organisation fighting for gay rights back in the day, nobody disputes that. Thank goodness they were there. I can't suggest or say this is Stonewall on this occasion, but organisations like Stonewall who went to establishments like universities, the police, whatever, and essentially misrepresented what the law was, you know, telling them that this is the law.
Mermaids as well. Mermaids,
and,
really.
Of course, a lot of these people thought, well, really, if they're saying it, they're a credible organisation, globally known. We must be wrong here. But when I see the NHS people there standing up saying there's 21 genders, I think they were in a hospital when they were saying that. There's literally no biological evidence to support that position. It's simply an invented, either a desire, something they want to believe. There is zero evidence to support that.
It's 21
They're in a hospital.
Sexual personalities. That's what it is.
It's not gendered.
But
what's
you know
that got to do with anybody else? Why does
then?
anybody care what somebody's...
No, I agree.
This is an obsession with other people's sex lives and their genitals, which is utterly bizarre. The Royal Stoke Hospital, which unveiled this flag, is one of the worst performing hospitals in the worst performing NHS trust in the country. They should be, as that patient said, they should be focusing on treating the patients, on dealing with the 6 million plus backlog, instead of which they were unveiling a flag which represents demi-romantics, asexuals, pansexuals, ni-trois, which is basically the same as non-binary, but non-binary is their absolutely ludicrous.
Well, why is that a thing? Why is that of interest to anybody?
One of the flags is called Straight Ally, which is people like me that are straight, that support the LGBT community.
So that's a gender for you, is it?
That's
is that a
literally these invented flags.
These people are nuts.
What's a demi-romantic, by the way? What is a demi-romantic?
It's like people that can't decide and want to be friends with... I don't know.
They don't really know, do they? They've got hundreds of these. They make them all up.
21 of them they've invented.
Although interesting that Kemi Badenoch today in the latest Conservative Home poll has finally picked Badenoch's finally picked Mordaunt, and she's at
least Kemi Badenoch stands for something and is brave and talks openly about this nonsense.